If you started noticing your red buttons, if you've begun spotting those silent patterns in your house, you've probably felt something shift. Not because anything was fixed, but because things started to make sense. And that matters. So, before we go any further, I want to pause and answer a simple question. What is this channel actually for? Because if you don't know what a space is for, you won't know how to use it. And you'll consume it without letting it change you. Most content today tries to do one of two things. It tries to motivate you or it tries to fix you. This space isn't here to do either. It's here to help you understand your own internal system well enough to choose differently. That's a slow process, but it's also a more honest one because real change doesn't come from hype and it doesn't come from shame. It comes from awareness, practice inside real human connections. Not once, not perfectly, but consistently enough that your own system start to trust you. If you came here looking for a hack, this won't satisfy you. But if you came here because you're tired of repeating the same argument in different outfit with different people, you're in the right place. Hi, my name is Szabó Tamás István, but you can call me Tamás. Or if that's a bit hard to pronunciate, you can just call me Tav. I'm a father, a singer, an entrepreneur, and for the past 15 years I've worked with kids, young adults, families, leaders, and communities. I'm exploring how we as humans try to connect, and I'm designing systems for sustainable relationships. This channel is called Logos. And I chose that name because it works on three levels. First, let's see Logos, the ancient idea of the spoken word, the force that brings order out of chaos. The reality is, you are creating your own world with the words you speak to your partner, to your children, to your team, and especially to yourself. Your words don't just communicate, they set the emotional temperature. If your word is grounded in values, you create a sanctuary. If your word is grounded in fear, you create a cage. This isn't about being nice. It's about being clear. It's about speaking in a way that builds safety, not silence, not intimidation, not pressure. Because in a family, in your workspace, in the community, your tone is architecture. The second is the log, like logging in. Most people live on autopilot. They react to whatever happens. Logging in means you choose to show up. Not perfectly, not like a robot, just consciously. Sometimes that looks like one breath. Sometimes it looks like pausing before you answer. Sometimes it looks like saying, "Give me a second, I want to be here for this." That's logging in. The third, the OS, the operating system. The patterns are running in the background of your body and mind until you understand how your nervous system and inherited patterns work. You aren't the one driving. The old rules of the house are. And here's something very important. The body decides first. Your mind explains later. You can be intelligent, you can be successful, you can be respected, and still be ruled by old rules under pressure. You can handle massive challenges at work, but collapse emotionally when someone you love is disappointed in you. That's not weakness, that's just conditioning. This channel is about upgrading that system, not in a technical way, in a human way. It's about moving from reaction to intention. Because when the pattern shifts, your relationships don't just improve, they become lighter, safer, clearer. You start to feel like yourself again. Not because life became easy, but because your inner house stopped fighting itself. Let me make this practical. You don't need to absorb everything. Pick one lens per video. Where do I tighten first? What triggers me fastest? What do I do when I feel misunderstood? Just one. Log in one moment, not your whole life. One moment. A sentence that landed, a tone that shifted something, a place you wanted to withdraw. Name it quietly. This is activation. This is the blueprint. This is the old rule. That is enough. The rest happens in the relationship, in real moments with real people, when you stay present 2 seconds longer than last time. That's the work. This is important. Quick fixes give you language without the structure underneath it. They feel like progress, but create none. Motivational pushes create a spike, that pressure dissolves within hours. Labeling people puts them into a box they have to fight their way out of. And one more source of self-improvement pressure is the last thing anyone here needs. This space is not here to do any of those things. You don't need to be ready to change to be here. You just need to be willing to notice how things are currently working. Not to attack yourself, not to defend yourself, just to notice. Because noticing is how the system starts telling the truth. And if you're looking for someone to tell you what to say to fix the people around you, this isn't that place. This is a place for people who are willing to look at their own system first. Small changes in a system don't stay small. The way you listen changes how safe people feel around you. The way you speak changes how conflict unfolds. the way you regulate yourself changes the emotional tone of the entire room. And that ripple moves outward into your relationship, into your family, into your workplace. It's the butterfly effect of communication. It isn't dramatic, but it's deeply impactful, especially for the next generation. Because children don't learn from what you say you value. They learn from what your nervous system does under pressure. This isn't self-improvement for your ego. This is stewardship. You don't need a total transformation to be here. You just need one thing: willingness to notice. One moment today, one breath before you respond, one question instead of a reaction. 5% more present than yesterday. That's the work. Not dramatic, but over time, deeply powerful. In our next video, we're going to dive into the first specific emotion that often disrupts our system. We'll look at how it actually functions and why you don't need to fear it. We'll take this one layer at a time, no rushing, no quick fixes, just learning how the human system actually works, step by step. See you in the next one. God bless.